I learned, and you're kind of a tour guide out here. We're glad you're along with us.
Thank you. Dave Victor?
I didn't do my homework, but I did talk to her today and had a nice chat with her.
Thank you very much. Deanna?
No. Oh, mine was.
Actually,
Yeah.
pardon me, Janet is substituting for Bill Zachert.
So,
Do you have anything to say about Bill?
No, I don't
He's
know.
say he's
I felt
missing.
color-free without him being here.
So just say he's missing.
He's missing.
There,
But
thank
it's very nice to have you here, and I did get to meet you, and thanks for coming.
I'd like to say something. I just met Janet.
I've never met Bill, but I bet he's better looking than he is.
Mary Ann?
Yeah, I want to.
Jan?
Stand back up. I
Yes.
just had the pleasure of meeting Janet tonight, and she's a really sweet gal. And I've learned that she met Tim, and actually Mike Dieterson, back in 1973 at Iowa State. They all went to college there. So they go back way back, and we just happened to kind of get back together after going through different life paths. So it was really nice meeting you.
Hey, thank you, Mary Ann.
Hey, Steve, do you have anything to add about Janet?
You'll be in trouble now.
She's not really in high school. She's our age.
Thank you, Bill.
She had to ask last night.
Okay. Well, Bill, can you please stand, Bill Hellman? Joyce Rogers, do you have anything to say about Bill Hellman?
Yes. I learned
Please
that
keep it clean.
I learned that he has a 100-year-old Evening Sentinel collection that tells about the Titanic and the Villisca axe murders.
Whoa.
And
I've got stuff to add. Go ahead.
and he has a smartphone, and I won't tell you what he calls it.
Thank you. Doug Capel.
I met Bill last night. I guess he's the owner operator of Gene Bottle Washer at the depot in Shenandoah. And I understand that these reunions used to be at the depot, but so he was clamoring to get behind the bar.
And Deb Biggers.
Well,
Uh-oh.
I don't have anything that anybody doesn't know about Bill because he likes to talk about himself. I need to say that Jan Fest is coming up and he's having a band at the depot.
Well, let's see. Deb. Deb?
I'd
Deb
like to say a few
Hillman?
things about Deb.
Deanna?
Yeah, you know, we didn't get a chance to talk too much, but, you know, I kind of talked to everybody else and found out what's going on. You know, I didn't know that your daughter had bought the bowling alley and kind of refurbished it and all that. That's cool. That you had a grandbaby. Okay, that's so neat. And also that, you know, I think our connection is that we both work in hospitals and that you've gone to training for a couple of different sessions in Alabama to learn the new electronic system, which is really tough. So, you know, all good things. Yeah.
And Deanna got us together.
Oh, I might add. Yeah. Wait, quarterback. Yeah. I did. I have to take credit for this. How many years have you guys been married?
50 years.
I introduced him 50 years ago, and we're still married.
And David Fichter?
Oh, no.
Didn't do my homework.
Oh,
Did you have any,
we had a chat today.
did you have any comments on Deb?
She aged real good.
Nancy Burdick.
Boy, that was tough. In town is Deb, and I just told all of my facts to Deanna tonight. I'm like,
You can talk about my grandson again.
you can. Like, he's 3 years old, just started preschool, and you have a garden, And you obviously know how to do your peaches better than Bill do. When it comes to freezing peaches. And you've only had 2 pedicures in your life. Bill bought the last one, which she absolutely enjoyed. So I think that's a repeat. Hint, hint.
I call it a toe job.
Good, she loves it. Do it again.
Hey,
Paul, I have one I'd like to share. I remember when Bill and I were in high school and Deb happened to be going out with another guy. And he would look at her and he would go, "What a waste of woman." Well, he ended up with her, so that's a good.
That's good. That's good. Thank you, Mike.
I don't remember going out with anybody else.
Where's that guy? I'm gonna beat him up. He's not here tonight.
Deb Biggers, could you please stand up? Oh my
I'm so
God.
boring. What anybody wants.
Mary Ann Manson, do you have anything you could
You
add?
know, I looked for you and looked for you last, but we never crossed paths, so it's nice to meet you now.
Thank you. Let's see, we got Mike Rogers.
Oh, yes, I'm up. What did we talk about?
Bears.
Yeah.
We're lost in the parking lot.
Oh yeah, she and Rob been married 38 years. I think there's what, 3 couples in here that have been married 38 years. That's fantastic, isn't it? So, and I'm done.
And Arliss Miller.
Well, Deb, she's had quite a weekend here. She likes to go hiking without wearing socks. So, you know, I had to be the one. She's got a big blister on her heel. So she had, you know. she
I
had
got
to-
pictures.
Yeah. They'll be on Facebook later.
Probably already are.
Yeah. She tried once to play golf.
Uh-huh.
The ball went into the water. I won't say the other things that you said. So that was the last time that she played, yeah. And it was just nice getting to visit with you. Yes.
Thank you. Ron Biggers, could you please stand? Marta Walters should have something to say.
Well, I found out that Ron met his lovely wife at a party when she was supposed to be at baccalaureate. A party at Vern Oziah's house. And I learned that she knew right away that he was somebody special. And then he stood up. She said to him was, "Why are you so short?"
Stand up, Ron.
I am standing. Kathy Watson, please.
Well, I learned that Ron works at Hello Windows. He stayed in Shenandoah ever since she graduated. Married to Deb, got the best pick of the litter. You didn't know that.
Sounds like an animal.
Well, you know. But anyway, nice guy, very, very kind. So, thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Steve Miller, do you have something to add?
Yeah. I guess Ron is a volunteer fire department person. Yep. And him and another guy went into a burning house to save 2 little kids.
Oh, that's cool.
A lot of guys went.
Let's see. Arliss Miller. Can you please stand? Joan McElroy.
Well, we went on a hike today together, and I found out that she likes to cross-country ski a little bit, and that she's an aunt to Ron's niece, Janie, and that she also knows that I called Janie's little girl, Aaliyah, Puddin' Face on Facebook, who's all plastered with pudding. And that was a cute little thing. And she loves to, I said that was cross-country ski. And Janet's arrival.
Thank you. Thank you. Mark Hanson?
Yes, I haven't seen Arliss in a while, and I learned today, though, that she is a real estate agent for farmland. And being an Iowan, you'd think I'd know such a thing. That was the first time I've heard of an agent for farmland.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'm a town boy, too.
Well, I bring up the rear on this one, and I just found out that you must be a successful salesperson because you pedal. You pedal all around Spencer on a bicycle. That's right. She likes to bike. Arliss, thank you very much. Steve? Who have we got here? Steve Burning. Steve?
Steve's going to talk about this.
Do you have anything about the
I already talked about it.
I've enjoyed talking to Steve and Arliss and getting together. We see each other. There's a couple of reunions in the past, but some of the things I forgot, I guess if I do them other times. He's from Milford, Iowa originally, and a lot of my past, I grew up in Milford, Iowa, so he knows a lot of my relatives because I spent most of my summers in Milford as a kid with my aunts and uncles, so it's a lot of fun learning that. He works in an elevator. Well, first of all, he was a farmer, and he gave up farming, and now he's still in the grain processing business because he works at the elevator at Spencer's.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Greg Hayes.
I enjoyed talking to Steve here last night and today, and I know that if you need to know why you should buy a John Deere over an International tractor, he'll tell you why.
International all the way.
And then real late last night, somebody told me you're a lead guitarist on Led Zeppelin at Woodstock.
Greg, thank you. And Christy Fichter has gone to the room to drink beer, so I'm sorry, Steve, we don't have a third for that. Roger Stern.
No.
And Sam Walters. Do you have anything to say?
Yes, sir. Last night I got to talking to him, and I found out that he's from New Hampshire, or he lives in New Hampshire now. Migrated up there, hasn't found his way back to Iowa, so he has a couple of young boys, I think. And he works for GE on the engineering of jet engines, which I thought was very interesting. But again, back to commonality, he and I made a business trip back in the 90s to Taiwan, and he's been to Taiwan, and we both agree that that's the nastiest place in the world.
Janet?
Well, Sam just said everything I was going to say. But Roger was on our little hike today with us. And so I kind of got to know him all over again. You know, 40 years is kind of a long time. And was telling me about his boys and about how nice it is out in New Hampshire, how pretty it is out there. So I told him we may be out there one of these days. Yeah.
New Hampshire in the fall. There's
Yeah,
like
that's what he said.
New England.
He
Yeah.
said it's beautiful out there as well.
Roger, Bill Zackard, substitute, is here to talk to you.
Well, these two pretty much said most of it. So I just have to give a quick rundown of all the places Roger has lived and worked, which is actually quite impressive. Minnesota, Michigan, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and before that, the Bahamas, New Guinea, and England.
Wow.
All those places?
Didn't last too long.
I'm a traveler, which I think is very impressive.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. David Fichter, please stand up. And Nancy Burning, do you have anything you can add?
Well, the first words out of David's mouth when I started to kind of question him, because he just said, I'm not good with names. He just kept saying, I'm not good with names, I don't remember a lot of people, and I guess what I remembered today was I learned that Holly, his sister, graduated with me.
Could be right.
So I forgot that. So that kind of reconnected us, and so we started to talk about, and we talked about his pets, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, but I think at one point he had 4 dogs and 4 cats and 9 parakeets.
Wow.
Which seemed a little bit obsessive, you know, a little bit too much for me, but he said the parakeets had babies and they were really small. We talked about that a lot, and I thought that was really a very cool experience, and I thought it was great that you brought your daughter Christy here and to share in this experience so that in 30 years she'll maybe have the same experience or whatever. I thought that was really nice. And I enjoyed traveling with you, and I think you were part of the Shenandoah alumni, the yearbook maybe. You took a lot of the photography for the yearbook?
Yeah, I did a lot with the yearbook. I took a lot of the pictures. I was in my dark room, did up the film, made the prints.
Yeah, so you're still in your photography, you're still into
Still
gardening,
taking
you do a lot of
pictures.
cooking.
Now I
think
put
you have a lot of great
them on Facebook.
Yes.
Nancy, thank you very much. Deb Ward.
Well, I found out today that David studied art after high school, and he currently works for the railroad. He met his wife at a skating rink, and he married her 1 week after her 16th birthday.
We've been married 36 years.
Wonderful.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Barb Andrews.
Well, I got to see pictures of his little grandbaby today. She was a little doll, and we kind of reconnected. And I didn't get to do a lot of my homework either. I was going to say more about the picture taking and how I saw that he's still into that quite a bit. And we appreciate you already posting on to Facebook before the class reunion's over with. So we appreciate all the hard work that you've done.
Thank you. David, thank you very much. Barb Andrews. Ron Biggers, do you have any?
She's dying to stand up.
Yes, I got that 4 is kind of her common number here. She moved back to Shen 4 years ago. She has 4 grandchildren, and she works at the new Shenandoah Inn in Shen.
Yes, and thank you, Ron.
And if you're in town, stop and say hi.
Yeah. Marta?
I learned that she has a daughter who's 6 feet tall.
Yes. She doesn't get it from me. It's interesting.
And Kathy Watson.
Be careful.
Do I? Barb and I rode with Paul to the reunion, so we chatted a lot. And I found out that she has traveled a lot, lots of teaching jobs. She has her master's degree in business with her house. But I think that's pretty darn impressive.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of the way you what you blew.
Thank you. Thank God she
Absolutely.
didn't bring
Kathy?
up the kitchen contest that she's still mad that I won.
Hey, thank you very much.
I got Kathy Watson.
Could you please stand? And Steve Miller, have you any information on Kathy?
Yeah, found out that after graduation she moved to Lincoln, Nebraska, and she's still a farm girl at heart, and she's a bubbly person.
Yes. Thank you. Steve Burning?
Kathy's folks were neighbors for not too far away for many years, so I got to see her once in a while. They always had big fireworks displays down at their place. We always enjoyed them when they shot them off. We could enjoy them too. We were so close. That was fun. But some of the things I learned, she has 20 grandchildren. She can name them all. That's what's the major She's basically a retired nurse and lives in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I didn't get to see her sing karaoke tonight, but I think we're going to see her tonight. So hopefully we see that. But she has one really kinky hobby. She gets her jollies off by going to Lover's Lane and checking the cars.
No, we didn't share
I learned last night.
Oh, no.
One of the main motivations Kathy came to the reunion was she thought I had a sex change. I'll have to ask her.
You can sit down now. Greg Hayes, can you please stand?
I've still got all my parts.
We're going to have Christy Hayes afterwards. There's a big difference between the two. Tim Mathis, have you anything to add to Greg Hayes?
Oh yeah, he's on my list. That's on. Okay. Yeah, Greg is married to Christy, of course, everybody knows. And they had moved to Tumwa in 1992. They've been there for 20 years. And Greg is in the ethanol business. He has actually single-handedly made over 1 billion gallons of ethanol in his day. And that's an exaggeration, of course. Greg just helps. But let's see. Oh, after this little shindig tonight, there's a wine tasting party in Greg and Christy's room, room 278.
Thank you, Tim. Brenda?
I learned that Greg likes to help his kids remodel their places. And his one fiasco was cutting a bathroom too big for the shower system. So it didn't fit.
Thank you very much, Greg. Now, Christy, it's your turn. Bill Hellman. I don't know why, Christy.
That is not
I didn't do my homework.
You're going to wing it?
I haven't seen much of Christy. I don't really know much about her.
Thank you.
No, but she did marry my best friend and stole him away from me. Took him away to Tumwa along with the Camaro. And for those of you that aren't from Shenandoah, I'll tell you what, Greg and I used to go tracking. So Camaro is 59.5-inch wide. You could put that on the railroad tracks and climb out of the car, get on the hood, drink beer, take your glaucoma pills or whatever, and glide down through the countryside. And Christy took that away from me.
$50 for that Camaro.
Yeah, $50. Sold that Camaro for $50. Well, one other thing about Chrissy, we were talking the other night, and this has nothing to do with this, but I'm standing. But just think back how high school, like Roger's kids, how they look at us. In 1972, the class of 1932 is having their 40-year class reunion.
Oh my God. That's so depressing.
1932.
Oh, you sit down
now. Joyce Rogers.
I learned that Christy's a sports fan and she especially loves football and especially the Hawkeyes.
Yeah. And Doug, have you anything to add?
Well, I just met Christy tonight. Since she's married to Greg, I'm sorry. Stay with them. Tom's work seems to be the key word here. I say you teach or
I work in the community college.
Community college, okay, great. And when, just by the way, when Greg was using his hair dryer this morning, he's in the room next to us, he was just like.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you. Who have we got next here? Brenda, could you please stand? And Christy?
I
What can you
learned
tell?
that Brenda is a nurse in Aurora, Colorado, which is where our dear friends Tom and Tina live. But she doesn't live there. And she didn't remember me, and I didn't remember her. So how's that?
You never know how those things work out.
Yes.
Christy, thank
Now we
you.
know each other.
Yes.
Greg had a sex change.
But he looks good, doesn't he?
Ron Biggers, here he is today. Ron Biggers?
I talked to Brenda tonight, found out they've been married 38 years. As Christy said, she's a nurse for a school district, and I bet nobody knows that she has a pet rooster named Bambi.
And Bill Hellman, you haven't said enough lately.
Yeah. I learned that Brenda has a high wire act that she does in the circus, and she does trampoline stuff, and she really does a lot of dangerous work on the trampoline. You might ask her about it.
Bill's damn cutting.
And she won't get on Doug's motorcycle.
And Doug, could you please stand? Deb Biggers?
Well, I just met you tonight. I think you knew because I was over there asking you questions, but I think you work for the government, right?
I do.
And they've been married 38 years. Wow. That's been all I know.
Wonderful.
I know.
Mary Ann Madsen?
Hi. Well, I had the pleasure of meeting Doug last night and spending time with both of Doug and Brenda today during the hike. It was real fun. And learned that Doug, he works for the USDA. What's really interesting that he works for checking the food, what comes in from imports. So he makes sure our food is safe. So they have to do a lot of work to, food comes in, trace it back to make sure it is what they say it is on the label. So I thought that was really interesting. And another interesting part, what I thought was, him and Brenda met on a Greyhound bus. And it was like in 1972, she graduated, it was in August. They were on a Greyhound bus, they were going in different directions, different places, but they were obviously meant to be, because it wasn't much longer that they hooked up, and of course now you know they've been married 38 years, raised 3 kids, traveled various places, been in Germany, and you're raising your dog, another little too.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mike Rogers?
Well, I just officially met Doug tonight, and I discovered he's originally from Mason City, Iowa, does work for the USDA, and his hobby is listening to, but not partaking of, karaoke.
Thank you very much,
One
Mike.
thing, he once had to confiscate some lemon trees from Joe Cocker.
Oh, Well, I've saved myself for last. Kenny, is there anything you can tell me about me?
Once again with the homework, but we did play golf today, and I know you enjoy playing golf, and you're a good golfer.
Well, thank you very much for giving me more credit than I deserve
Well,
on
wait
my
a minute
skills.
now, didn't he get a birdie today?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Roger Stir.
I learned a very interesting thing about Paul in that let's see if I get this right, one of my grand uncles was instrumental in getting Paul into the sales field.
That's exactly right. Steck Scahill just about railroaded me in my first travel job.
Yep.
And I thank him for it every day. And Ron McElroy?
Yes, sir.
What would you know about me, please?
Oh, what can I say? Paul is in the feed supplement sales industry. I'm sure for all different types of animals. Been acquainted some type through poultry in that vicinity. He came into town. One thing about Paul, and Margaret will attest to it, you tell Paul your address, he's going to come. He showed up in my front yard one day, and I, who's that?